Now, I'm going to tell you a story. This is one of my favorite stories. A story I get a lot of mileage out of. So here goes. It's kind of about resilience, kind of about love. Well, anyway, the title of the story is, it's in the book. The title of the story is Love Among Guns and Mugging. How does this story go? Once upon a time, I don't know, 5 years ago or so, I wanted to go photographing. I'm a photographer. I wanted to go photographing. I had a lot of free time on my hands. I had just gotten divorced, had some spare cash, had nobody telling me what to do. So I headed off into the sunset or to Detroit, as the case may be. Now, before I got to Detroit, I was connected with a friend of a friend of a friend, it doesn't matter, but somebody really high ranking in the Detroit Police Department. I was the second in command. And, I just messaged him and I said, hey, I'm going to be photographing there. Sometimes I photograph at night and sometimes I photograph like railroad tracks at night. And in Boston, I've been, sort of accused of, doing nefarious things just because I happen to be near railroad tracks at night. And I said, so I'm kind of hoping that won't happen. And he said, oh, no big deal. Just let me know where you're going to be, what nights, and I'll tell the crew to keep an eye out for you. And then he was so nice. He went and he looked on my website and he wrote me these really long emails. I think you should photograph here and here and here. And the place you really should go is to photograph the old Packard plant, auto where they built these Packard cars. And I said, oh, okay, sounds good. Is it safe? He said, yeah, you go during the day, you'll be fine, no problem. Great. So I go, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, bright sunny day, big sort of open parking lot, and there's just like two walls perpendicular to each other of obviously what used to be a building. So I set up my camera on a tripod, and I take about 2 pictures. And then I notice in the distance this kid's walking towards me. And I think, all right, this kid's walking towards me. I guess maybe he's just like cutting through the parking lot to get to the other side. But then he made eye contact with me. And I knew that that's not what was happening. He was coming for me. So he was, I don't know, maybe 100 meters away. And I said to myself, well, this is happening. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to run. I doubt you would outrun him anyway. I said, well, you've got about 30 seconds to figure this out, so start thinking. And just the first thing that came to me was, 2 things kind of came to me. First was, you're good at talking. Do that. The second was, man, this guy's probably got a pretty rough life here. This city's doesn't have a great number of job opportunities. Probably especially not if you grew up in the poor part of town and all that kind of stuff. And in a moment, I don't know how it happened or what happened, but in a moment, what was initially fear, and it wasn't like a crippling fear, but it was, this guy's coming at me, kind of just like turned to love. I don't know how to describe it. On its own. And as he approached me, like I kind of felt like I kind of addressed him as if he was just kind of like a stranger coming up to me asking for directions or something. But instead of coming up to me and asking for directions, he came up to me and out of the front pocket of his hoodie pulled a massive handgun. I don't know anything about guns, so I can't tell you what it was, but it was a massive handgun. It wasn't the 9mm kind you see in the movies. All right, I know that much about guns. Anyway, but in that moment, I just said, hey, what do you need? And he said, give me all your money, you're going to die right here. And I said, all right, that's a clear message. appreciate the clarity. I had some money in my pocket. I had actually gotten some money out of the ATM so that if anything should happen, I didn't just have, the usual $3 that I have in my pocket to give him. So I had like $100. I gave it to him. I said, here you go. And he screamed at me like, what else do you got? Now, mind you, I had my super expensive camera and tripod and everything sitting right here. I had a jacket on, like a photographer's jacket that had like lenses. I had like a small camera, my passport with me for some reason. And in this kind of the chest pocket here, I had my phone and my wallet. And he guessed that I had a phone. Smart guy. So he said, give me your phone. And I said, well, that's a good guess. So I opened my pocket here and I took out the phone. And as I did, he saw the wallet. He said, hey, give me your wallet. And he was screaming this at me. It wasn't. And again, in that moment, like none of this was scary. I don't know. I can't really, I'm not tough. I don't know how to fight at all. I'm not muscular. I'm not big. I'm not. But the feeling was of okayness, that everything was going to be okay, right? Like I felt like there was a 95% chance that I wasn't going to get hurt. And even if I did or got killed, like that was okay too. Like I was a very settled feeling. So as he said, give me your wallet, I just kind of had this thought. I said, well, this isn't really going my way, And so I was thinking and thinking and thinking, and I said, I was thinking to myself, if we keep going like this, I'm going to be naked in about 4 minutes here, and he's just going to have everything. And I don't really want that to happen. I didn't compare it against the potential for losing my life. I just thought. So I said, I'll tell you what. You can have my wallet and my phone, but then we're done. He said, excuse me? I said, you can have my phone and my wallet, but then we're done. That's it. You're not getting anything else. His head just exploded. Like all over it was a gray matter everywhere. Not really. But he was so shocked that this was even a possibility. So he took my wallet and he opened it up and he saw there was no cash in there. And I said, see, I told you there's no cash in there. So can I have my wallet back? And again, he looked at me like, you're out of your mind. So I said, no, you could take the credit cards if you want, but I want my wallet back. I want my license and all my other important stuff in there. So he took the cards and he handed me my wallet back. This is 1,000% true. He had a giant gun pointed right at me in one hand, and in the other hand was handing me my wallet back. All right? And that's pretty much the end of the story. He kind of started to walk off after that, and I kind of waited a little bit so there was a distance between us and started to walk towards my car. He turned around, pointed the gun right at me and said, you stay here. And that wasn't going to happen. And this sort of, dance happened a couple times, and then I got in my car, and as soon as I got in my car, he sprinted away. But the point of this story, right? Resilience. Now, you could think of resilience in this context in two ways. One is, after this all happened, I wasn't upset. I really wasn't. In fact, I felt kind of like good that I was able to give this guy what he needed. Right? He was able to get some food or whatever the heck it is. The other way you could think about resilience in this, though, is, and you might call this guidance, which I would talk about in the next chapter, right? But you don't know what's going to show up. Right? I said that a little earlier. We have no idea how we are going to bounce back from a negative situation, say, right? I had no idea that if somebody pulled a giant gun on me, that I would be able to come up with something to do. That was, I gotta say, kind of clever, right? Meaning it wasn't the obvious, fight or flight. It wasn't that. It was something calm and collected and adult, meaningful, I mean, this sounds absurd, and if it weren't so absurd, I might have done it. And I kind of wanted to, ask him for his number. I kind of wanted to know his story. Kind of wanted to hang out with him without the gun. But anyway. So that's my Detroit story. I hope you like that. I hope you see how that fits in with resilience. A little bit about guidance. We're going to talk about guidance more tomorrow. But I'll leave you with that for right now. Thanks so much for listening. Take care.